Hi there everyone, I'm the guy with no gamer tag, and today I wanted to analyse some of my gameplay from Apex Legends. This particular gameplay segment is to illustrate the point of how you can win and clutch situations where you shouldn't be able to. In this particular clip I'm playing as Bangalore, I've got a full squad, I've personally got the best loot at the moment in terms of shields, and there are currently 6 squads left including my own. Now, we've run into this building, we're starting to loot up, we're just checking, we're just trying to get some better gear because my teammates have low shields. I now spot this Mirage to my left. I realise that there's engagement, this is almost certainly going to be a squad fight, so I instantly drop my ultimate. Now what this is all going to be about is how you as a lone player can win out situations against multiple squads, because in this particular instance I end up coming up against all other 5 squads remaining in this game. So I have to survive as a lone player because both of my teammates end up going down and getting taken out. We then get engaged by that squad on our right. I then take this opportunity to shield up. This was a little bit risky, but at the same time I knew my teammate was right next to me and that they would have to run round the building either way to get to me, so I thought it was a sensible time to do that. I then take pot shots. At the moment I still think it's just the 1 or 2 squads. I then go for a flanking manoeuvre because they've tunnel visioned on my teammate and get a little bit of damage in, and then manage to get a knock on this lifeline. Now at this point we know that we've taken one enemy out. I then decide to thirst this lifeline. It wasn't necessary, I was doing it because I had a weekly challenge to get kills with the Peacekeeper and I decided to prioritise that. It wasn't necessary and I don't think it's the way you should really play in these situations. So at this point one of my teammates has already been knocked out and the other one is down at the moment. I have to admit that at certain points I could have gone for the revive, but I didn't. The main reason for that was I was aware that there were squads around me and I was trying to make sure they didn't catch me off guard. The revive sound does make quite a clear audible noise, so it's very easy to get picked off when that's happening. I saw that squad, so I decided to chase them. They get involved in another squad fight and eliminate one of the other squads. At this point I'm now just trying to do damage to them. I can see that same squad that I've been fighting this whole time is still outside the door. I'm just trying to get some damage. I managed to get the knock on the Octane, but then the Mirage manages to escape. Once I've chased him down, he then makes a really good use of his ultimate. He actually could have won this simply by his use of that ultimate because he managed to get away. I noticed when I look back at the gameplay, I just missed him out of the corner of my eye. He just moved on my right there, but I didn't quite see him, so I just about missed the opportunity to pick him off. At this point, my Octane has now crawled outside. This is a big problem for me because it means I cannot res him. He's in a completely exposed position and there's no point I would get instantly killed. I'm aware that there is another squad who's just been shooting at me. Bangalore is really useful for evasive plays like this because of her passive ability. She's able to just start speeding up and it makes it really easy to evade gunfire and to sort of bamboozle the enemies in a way. That's the entire reason why I was able to get away with the plays I was making. I was zipping around. As soon as they shot at me, I was able to just run out of there, get to cover and shield up if needed. I also decided to make use of the underground section of this building. A lot of the other players didn't seem to be aware it was there, and it meant that I was able to sneak around underneath them and keep repositioning. That was the main thing. I needed to reposition, keep attacking them from different angles so none of them felt safe. That Wraith there made a good use of her ability, and the Mirage decided to try and thirst me. That's the main problem. If you get tunnel visioned in a situation like this, another squad will shoot you in the side, and that would have been game over for me, but I am not focusing as much on trying to get the knockdowns. I am just trying to distract them. My entire play here, which I wasn't necessarily thinking through at the time, but when I look back it is what I was doing. I was essentially just stirring things up. I would go in, do some damage, it would attract the attention of other squads to then fight that squad I just damaged, and then you'd get another squad fight going on whilst I could go and heal up. Because as a lone player I was running away, they would see 2 or 3 and they would go for those 2. People seem to focus more on the teams than the individuals, which is why I was able to keep escaping. Now at this point I'm still fighting this Octane and Mirage. The Mirage goes down and I'm not able to quite get him. The Octane then runs in and managed to get me almost completely low on health. I then waited out in the event that he might come into the room. It's very risky, but I thought it was the way to play it because I didn't want to get caught shielding. When he doesn't push, as you can see, I'm then shielding up. And at this point I'm realising I should have gone out that window. So I decided to rectify my mistake, go out on the roof, because yet again I'm changing my elevation. They aren't expecting it, they don't know what I'm doing. As usual, unnecessary thirsting on this race so I can get my weekly challenge done, but I was just about to get away with it and it drew another squad's attention. I now know that there's some people inside the building, some people out, so I need to just go underneath the building again, heal up and just sort myself out, try and work out where they are. I come up on this Mirage again and I'm still fighting that Mirage and Octane, but I'm just zipping around using the underneath of the building to my advantage. I'm surprised none of them decided to follow me under it because I was using this the whole time, going up and down between the first and ground levels, and they just didn't seem to be following me. I think it was because I was the individual. They didn't think it was worth chasing me because of how quick I become when I'm using my passive. Now at this point there's 3 squads left and the action has calmed down, and I decide to loot up, get a little bit more gear, and that essentially is the end of this large fight. Now the things you can take away from this is that the main way to win these large team fights is to completely confuse your enemies. You need to move around as much as possible so they can't catch you. That's why Bangalore was so useful in this. Her passive, allowing her to speed up when she's shot at, made her incredibly useful for evading situations where I should have been downed because I was the only player of my squad. And also, the most important thing is to not get tunnel vision. Yes, you might be able to down an enemy, you might be able to get part of your weekly challenge, but I almost got shot so many times by trying to thirst that Wraith and those other characters that it could have lost me this game. But by not tunnel visioning like the other squads did, I was able to get away, keep evading, and keep doing damage and keep stirring it up, getting the other squads to do the fighting so then I could pick up the pieces. And that's the main mentality I had. But then at this point I'm now alone and I know there's still 2 other squads left. And this is the last part of this video, which is how to then clutch out the win of the game. So now fast forwarding through the round, I've decided to take the high ground. I'm up on this base jump area, which is how we call it. It's these stations where you can dive off into the lower areas. And I hear that there's gunfire down and to my left. I'm not sure exactly where it is, but I now know that there is only 1 other squad remaining. My first play is to try and locate them. I don't know where they are at the moment, but I do know that there is a care package right in front of me. And that is a key thing. That could provide me with some really useful late game gear, and I really want to try and find that. But I need to know where that other squad is to work out if it's safe to go for it. I then just about spot them on my left, down at the very bottom of the hill. I know that they are almost not unlikely to see me, and that they are very unlikely to be able to catch me when I'm just checking the loot. At this point I'm having a bit of an internal debate and I decide to pick up the Mastiff. This proved to be a very good decision. I would always say if you have the opportunity to use this gun late game, take it. It has incendiary rounds and it is possibly the most powerful gun in the game. It does a lot of damage and you can down people so quickly because of that burn damage. Now at this point, I'm just trying to wait out the other squad. They've got to move for the circle, I don't. So I need to stay hidden so they don't know where I am, but I also need to be close enough that I can take advantage if they separate from each other. And that's the main thing. You need to separate your enemies so that you can get them on a one-on-one. You need to one-on-one each of the players so that you have the best chance of winning. It's very unlikely you'll win a 2-on-1, and if there is a third person, they will then finish you off. So at this point, I'm trying to hide, trying to make sure I know where they are before they know where I am. I also need to find out how many of them there are, because if there's 3, it makes it a lot more difficult. I spot the Mirage going up the balloon and the Octane running along. At this point I can't hear anyone else, and because the circle is moving and it does so much damage, I'm led to assume that there is no other player. And because the Mirage is in the sky, I decide this is the perfect time to engage the Octane. The Mirage can do nothing about it, so I can't get double teamed. But the Octane makes a very good play of bouncing down the hill towards the balloon. I get a bit too tunnel visioned, but I just about get away with it because the Mirage is a little bit too far away. At this point, I now know the Octane cannot do any damage, so I now need to take advantage of that and start damaging the Mirage. Make sure he can't then get an advantage on me. At this point, I then get shot in my side. I now know the Octane is on my right, so I've got these boxes for cover. I can pull out the Mastiff and down the Mirage, and this now makes it a one-on-one. The Octane is over there. I've seen him now. I know exactly where he is, and I know I can control this engagement. He's trying to snipe me, so all I need to do is stop him landing his shots, and also stop him being able to revive his squad mate. I can see now the Mirage is now moving towards him, so I just need to throw grenades, make sure that he cannot get the revive. If it becomes a 2v1 again, I might as well have lost the game. I need to make sure I have the best positioning and I have the best odds. At this point I see the Octane runs away. He's basically deserted his teammate. I get the finish, and it means that it's the 1v1 I've been looking for. I've got circle advantage, I've got weapon advantage having disruptor rounds and a Mastiff, so I know I've got this. I just need to play it right. I'm just waiting for him, firing shots, making him uncomfortable. You've got to just keep applying the pressure, because they had the advantage. They had more players, it's just me. They know they had the advantage, but the fact that I've now given them, I've taken the fight to them, made it a 1v1, makes them cautious. I've just got to keep piling on the pressure and wait for the circle to move, or for them to push up to me, because I know I've got the weapons for that. This last circle is tiny. If I catch them outside the ring, they're going to have a load of damage done to them. I think I'll just take a little quick cheeky look at the loot of the Mirage, see if there's anything that's really worth grabbing. There wasn't, so I very quickly got out of it. The circle's about to move, and I have my ultimate. It makes perfect sense to just drop it on them. That way, they have to move. They're either going to take damage from my ultimate or from the storm, but it forces them to move towards me. It just piles on more pressure. He knows he's going to take damage and he has to get towards me. I know I've got the weapon. I just need to do that damage now. I find him, take 2 shots and down him with the 3rd, and I've won the game. I was 1 player against 5 other squads. I've managed to pick them all off and win this game. This is firstly how you win against multiple squads, and secondly, it's how you then clutch out the round when you are a lone player. It's possible and it's really fun when you can do it. I'm going to quickly switch over to this lifeline gameplay where I also end up only getting 3 kills in this match, but it was the last 3 players that I got all the kills of. Both my squad mates got downed and I managed to clutch this squad again. And it was yet again because I was moving. I was manoeuvring around. I took one of them down, I then moved out. I almost got trapped by the circle, but then I flanked round. They got a res, but it wasn't anything to help them. I then won the 1v1 down to the storm. And the reason I'm able to do this, and the best way I can put this, because it rhymes, you've got to locate, separate, and eliminate. You've got to locate where the enemies are and how spread apart they are. You need to separate them so you can get in a 1v1 fight, and then you need to take the fight to them, do the damage, and make their teammates feel uncomfortable. You need to start the fight, pile on the pressure. If you take one of them down, it then makes them close up a little bit more. They're going to be a little bit more tense. They're not going to be as confident engaging you because you've just taken one of them down. You're fighting them. It makes them internally feel a little bit more scared of you because you're posing a proper threat to them. You need to keep piling on that pressure. As you go through, you need to keep forcing them into 1v1s and you can eliminate them all and win the game. I do hope this has been entertaining and useful to you. It's the way I personally think as I'm playing. I'm always trying to separate my enemies, making sure that I've always got the fights on my terms, and it's how I've got clutch games like this. I find them really fun. I just thought I'd share this in case it helps any of you all out. But I do hope you've enjoyed this video. I've been the guy with no gamertag, and I'll see you on another video.
You are the Apex Champions.